shoots and buds, and the young sun. One half is forced in the sign of the rainbows run.
And many little birds make melodies that sleep away the night with open eyes.
So nature pricks them,
And their hearts engage.
The folks do long to go on pilgrimages.
And especially
From every
shires
end
of England
Down.
to Canterbury,
they went to seek the holy blissful martyr. It happened in that season on a day in Canterbury, at the Tavern Inn, as I lay ready to start upon my pilgrimage to Canterbury. There came into that inn some 9 and 20 in a company, and pilgrims were they all that toward Canterbury town would ride.
And pilgrims were they all that toward Canterbury town would ride.
By speaking to them all upon the trip, I soon was one of them in fellowship, and promised to rise early and take the way to Canterbury, as you heard me say. But while I still have time and space, before my story takes a further pace, it seems a reasonable thing to say what their condition was, the full array of each of them as it appeared to me. A knight there was,
A most distinguished man who from the moment that he first began to write about the world loved chivalry, truth, honor, generosity, and courtesy.
with him there was his son,
A fine young squire, a lover and lusty bachelor. A lad of 5. He was wonderfully agile and very strong. He was always singing, "Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do," or fluting the whole day long.
there was a friar,
A very jolly one, and merry. In all the orders poor, there was none that could equal his gossip that bore his well-turned speech.
a clerk from Oxford was with us also, who turned to gaining knowledge long ago. He had but little gold within his coffer, but all that he might borrow from a friend. On books and learning he would only spend, and air of moral virtue filled his speech, and gladly would he learn and gladly teach.
A yeoman there was, and he was clad in a hood of green.
A priest, her smiling and simple and coy. A nun, her chaplain.
And 3 priests.
A monk there was, who left the light of things of yesterday, and took them on him.
Huh?
There was a franklin, a sheriff, he checked audits, every entry. He was a model among landed gentry.
A haberdasher, a dyer, a carpenter, a weaver, and a carpet maker.
A cook, but what a pity, so it seemed to me, that he should have an ulcer on his knee.
A skipper hailed from the far west, the night's rules of conscience he ignored. He sent his prisoners home. They walked the plank.
A worthy woman from Bath City. She'd had 5 husbands. All of the church store.
A plowman there was, an honest worker, good and true, and he would help the poor for love of Christ, and never take a penny if he could help it.
A doctor. The cause of every malady you got, be whether dry, cold, moist, or hot. Who was a perfect practicing physician.
There was a reeve,
Also a miller.
A college masterful. A papal pardoner. And a church court summoner.
And pilgrims were they all that toward Canterbury town would ride.
Great cheer the host gave to everyone, saying thus, "Now, masters, verily, you are all welcome here." And hardly. For by my truth and tell you no lie, I have not seen this year in this stand a company fitter for sport than now. It would make you happy, find you happy. Another game I have this moment thought to give you joy and cost you not. You're off to Canterbury. Well, Godspeed. Blessed St. Thomas answer your need. And I don't doubt, before the journey's done, you'll mean to while the time in tales and fun. So, I have then, for your enjoyment, as I've said, suitable employment. Each of you, to beguile a long day, shall tell 2 tales, as you wend your way to Canterbury. And each of you,
Forth we rode.
With right good cheer.
And begin our tale.
As you shall hear.
face, handsome man, bred a few.
A respectable woman in all her life. What's more, she brought 5 husbands, all to the church door.
Not counting other company in you.
Which of that there's no need to speak of in truth. Three times she journeyed to Jerusalem, seen many strange rivers and passed over them. At Rome she'd been in Bologna, in Spain at Santiago, and at Cologne. She could tell much of her travels by the way.
She was gap-toothed besides.
It is no lie to say.
Shoo. Experience is the best teacher, and that's good enough for me. All my experience just goes to show that marriage, my friends, is a misery and a woe. Now thanks be to God the Father evermore, 5 husbands have I had at the church door. Yes, in fact I've had so many, all worthy of it as good as any. And I'll welcome the 6th whenever he appears.
This act of violence makes such a stir and caused such an appealing unto King Arthur.
That the king condemned this knight to lose his head. For according to the law, he was as good as dead.
But then the ladies...
And the queen prayed to the king so long to show him grace.
That he relented at last and gave the case to the queen. The hearing decided she should choose, show mercy or refuse.
Queen thanked the king with all her might.
Searched every place where he hoped to find he had the grace to learn what it is that women love the most. But he never touched the country town or coast where he could find what seemed to be.
You heard them.
They were willing to agree.
Some said that women wanted wealth and treasure. Honor, some said. Splendid pleasure.
Gorgeous clothes, said some.
And others, fun in bed. Often to be widowed, and often to be rewed.
The night this tale is told about perceived at last he never would find out what it is that women love the best. Most saddened was the spirit in his breast. So home he went, he dared delay no longer. And as he rode in dejected mood, suddenly he saw at the edge of the wood 4 and 20 ladies, maybe more, dancing. Eagerly he approached, that from them some wisdom he might learn. But before he came to where they were, dancers and dance advanced into air.